Surprise, horror, and shock as Adam Kownacki is knocked out by Robert Helanius in the fourth round. I'm going to talk you through it. You had Adam Kownacki reigning at £265 and Robert Helanius came in at £238. Kownacki came in with a record of 20 wins and 15 by knockout. Helanius, always known as a hard hitter, came in with a record of 29 and 3 losses, 18 by knockout. Helanius wasn't expected to knock out Kownacki by any stretch of the means. And even in his fight last year against Gerald Washington, he was knocked out in the third round. So the odds were really against him in this fight. So I'm going to talk you through round one. So round one, Helanius, what he needed to do was keep it at range, because Kownacki is one of those fighters that really likes to just plod forward and swing punches in at close range. So he had to use his height advantage to his credit. And to his credit, he was clipped a few times on the ropes, but Helanius did have some success with a left jab and whipping the right hook into the body. But I still had round one going to Kownacki purely because he outworked him. So I gave the first round to Adam Kownacki. We then go on to round two. Now, Helanius came out jabbing at range and was doing a good job, I noticed. And one thing I did notice as well is that he wasn't getting backed up too much. He was pivoting Kownacki when Adam Kownacki was getting in at close range. So he done a good job and actually started to land a few right hands. And when Helanius landed the few right hands that he did manage to land, it did back Adam Kownacki up a couple of times. And that for me was the signs of worry, in my opinion, because there was zero head movement from Adam Kownacki, and he was literally using his face as a defence mechanism. When you're going in against a hard puncher like Robert Helanius, who's very limited, let's be honest, very one-trick pony kind of guy, 1-2 kind of guy, he doesn't really do much. He does have a limited body attack, but it's nothing special. And when you're unable to miss the straight right hand, then you're in trouble. And that was the first signs that I predicted that Kownacki may have trouble in the later rounds if he was to get hit with the right hand. And in that round two, I gave it to Robert Helanius. We then move on to round three. Kownacki did manage to land some hard shots in the beginning of the round, and the ref actually mentioned about Robert Helanius holding. Kownacki had a flurry at mid-range, and he managed to hurt Helanius towards the end of the round, should I say. And that's what gave the third round to Kownacki. Round four came out, and it very early into the fourth round, both were trading, and Kownacki went down, and the referee ruled it as a slip. And he probably thought at the time that he was doing Adam Kownacki a favour as the home fighter, but he certainly didn't. And even Helanius later on said that actually gave him extra time to get on to his opponent, because when Helanius got back up, when Kownacki got back up, his legs had gone right beneath him, and it seemed that all the energy had zapped from him. Very strange indeed. It was a short right hook that dropped Kownacki, and then again he was dropped again, I believe, with a left hook. And then when he got up the second time, that was when the fight was really over, and he was taking some hard shots, and then the ref jumped in and stopped the fight. So there you have it. Robert Helanius beating Adam Kownacki in the 4th round. Now, you really need to ask, what is going on with the PBC heavyweight scene? 6 months ago, you had Andy Ruiz as the unified heavyweight champion, and you had Deontay Wilder as the WBC champion. And then you had Adam Kownacki, who was, a lot of people were talking about him being a possible contender, so you had a backup. All three of these have shown that they're limited in their boxing. If we start with Adam Ruiz, he was exposed in the second fight as having a limited front foot game and foot speed. Then you have Deontay Wilder, savagely beaten up by Tyson Fury. He showed his limitations of just having a right hand. And Adam Kownacki just been exposed here by Robert Helanius by having zero head movement. And I do mean zero head movement. And just limited in just plodding forward and taking shots to the head to get off his own shots. That is not going to win you world titles in heavyweight boxing, I'm afraid, people. And I must say that Al Heyman's heavyweight world does seem to be crumbling, if not crumbled already. So I'm very interested to see what Wilder does in the trilogy, because he is literally their only hope. I know we've got F.A. Ajagba, but he was exposed in his last fight for being chinny. He was rocked by a journeyman, got knocked down. Did a bit better against Kownacki, that he just fought on Saturday. Won that fight in 9 rounds. But you've got to be questioning, where is the next PBC hope? Anyway, enough of me rambling on. This is Box Minds. I'm out.